So there's this email from KDK's. It just has a list of items that I thought would be interesting to read. It's nothing that necessarily new. Some things are new. Some things I haven't heard before. But let me show you. Okay. It says notes from call with Jamie and Tara, 7/25/2024. They've been through a lot. Jamie is very worried. Team members are falling off. It ends with us produced, paid for, directed the movie. Company that is built on speaking up and standing up for injustices around the world. Founders, Jamie, Tara leadership team. Harriman are dear brothers and friends. Sin is one of his closest friends. Wives are best friends. Spiritual path has been about doing something good for humanity and using resources and voices to speak to that. That's being challenged. 5 years ago, Justin acquired the property from Colleen Hoover. Took 2 years to get script in place. Became friends with Colleen and include her in the process of developing the script, engaged in No More, made sure this project was done in a way that was digestible to people who've experienced domestic violence. 2.5 years ago, partnered with Sony to make the movie, cast Blake Lively. Quickly learned that she is every bit of a superstar, and that comes with a superstardom. She had realistic and reasonable things she wanted. She wanted to be a producer in the movie, and she said no. I think they said no. Agreed to EP. Rounded out cast, but she wasn't involved in producing or putting the project together. Found themselves shooting the movie. Blake wasn't involved other than Justin trying to create a relationship. Rounded out cast, but wasn't involved in producing or putting the project together. And you know what? They admit to that. Ryan Reynolds admits to that when he claims that his wife didn't have anything that it wasn't the ingredients. It wasn't her ingredients. In other words, she knew that it was somebody else's work and she was trying to finesse it, make it into her own, but she knew she had no real part in actually producing or putting the project together. All the work she did was just in post-production, right? And yet she she wants PGA to let everybody know that she had been involved from day one, even being HR, right? But apparently does not know where an HR resource is. So I don't know how she was HR. But anyways, found themselves shooting the movie. Blake wasn't involved other than Justin trying to create a relationship. On first day of shooting, a lot of money spent. Blake didn't show up to day one because her baby was sick. Apparently, this has happened on other movies where on day one, her baby has been sick. Obviously, they don't mean this baby, baby little Olin, because baby Olin can only be sick as a baby for a smidgen of time. But this is most likely, we would look at other movies that she's done and we could probably guess which movie she called in sick on day one because her baby was sick. Started shooting in NYC. They learned the maintenance that was required to work with her. As they started and were dealing with wardrobe, Justin, the director, developed the look for Lily Bloom, but Blake started spending on her own and changed the whole wardrobe. No regard as to how this affected production. She had ideas for the script. Prior to shooting, she would look at the script and might reword things, and they did. It was minor, then major, and then her rewriting the whole script. Every page she had her fingerprint on. They tried to navigate this. Writer strike then happened because original writer couldn't be engaged. Justin could make director changes and not material changes. They danced around this. No saying no to her when this would happen. Once they started shooting, there were demands they accommodated. Material, logistical, security, etc. They got shut down because of the strike. They take a break, down for 2 months, maybe longer. They took a gamble on when the strike was ending and they thought they could start on the day. But instead, they got a legal letter list of conditions. Lindsay something Strandberg, their attorney said they need to read the letter, 17 things in order to return to the set. She listed conditions. Okay, so this is kind of interesting because they put actual quotes. That's not the 17-point side agreement. So I don't know if these quotes are from like the January 4th meeting in 2024 or what. But these are in quotes. Justin Baldoni shall not talk about his porn addiction with Blake Lively. JB shall not talk about Blake Lively's dead father. Wayfarer shall not enter BL's trailer in a state of undress. No one from Wayfarer shall not touch in any way Blake Lively or her team. Obviously, probably means no one from Wayfarer should hug or shall hug, right? Instead of shall not. Intimacy coordination must be present at all times when BL is on set. Must be closed set during rehearsal or filming of nudity, faux sensuality. Personality must be approved by BL. Hadn't filmed any sex scenes at this point. Appearance must be done in regards to a character. Alex Sachs, lead producer /woman / hired her, because there should be a woman on the team and be present. She was a third-party producer. A lot transpired since the letter. They get the letter and Sony gets the letter. Jamie gets a call from Sony saying what happened on set. Justin and BL were rewriting the script. The only place she would work is at her house, so they would work there late at night and everything seemed fine. JB thought they were building a relationship. As part of this, they were building the sex scenes. Some conversations were more personal. As they're discussing this, are they shooting them, finishing? Are they going to shoot both or just one of them? There were some personal experiences shared to justify the way they were going to write the sex scene. He has a porn addiction, which he spoke about. All hands meeting before shooting resumes. Jamie, Justin, Alex, Todd Black, who's the newly appointed A-list producer acting as an AP, someone Janetti, who works at Sony, Blake and Ryan Reynolds, all in their living room. They unleash and want to talk about everything that's happened, 50 to 60 things that she wrote in a journal about Justin, 2 to 3 things with Jamie. JB shall not talk about his porn addiction with BL. JB has written books and openly spoke about overcoming his porn addiction, encouraged boys to not feel shame and talk about sexuality, and know things are normal, but it can be painful and how it perpetuates behavior. He's talked about this publicly. Incidents. Earlier on set, day 2 or day 3, because she changed the wardrobe, so Sony made it clear they want skin to be shown, but it's a character. And we have Blake Lively, and they wanted her to show things off, but she changed the wardrobe. Before they start shooting, she says she wants to take the jacket off. JB responded and said he didn't think he needs the jacket, and she looks great, sexy, which was description of the character. She said it wasn't the look she was going for. JB apologized. That's my elementary vocabulary. I want you to know you look great. Jenny chimes in and says she doesn't like being described as sexy. Justin said he was sorry. He addressed it a few minutes later. I'm sorry. I'm acknowledging I used old language and I didn't mean to offend you. Scene was filmed. A call was made to Sony, and this was something they felt uncomfortable with JB using this language. Called Jenny the day before, who was uncomfortable in an outfit, was told she looked sexy before. They claim he has a pattern of saying the word sexy. BL addressed it a week later and said later she didn't feel like he was hitting on her. She just didn't like it. He asked about her weight. Context was he was working out with her trainer. He has a notoriously bad back. He pulls his back all the time. He says to the trainer something to the effect of, I have a bad back. I have to carry Blake from point A to point B. I should start to load my back and proactive with this weight. How much does she weigh? He gets a call with Blake. He's there with Ryan and they scold him. How dare you ask about my wife's weight? Why would you ask about my wife's weight? He gets defensive. Sorry, I wasn't meaning about her weight. I'm trying to figure out how to train my back. I'm stupid. Ryan got aggressive. Jamie has experienced this as well. Justin got emotional. He's an emotional guy. He's very sensitive. There's a few incidences with Jamie. Took them to the trailer to tell them of the problem she's having. Problem 1, she says day 2 or day 3, she wanted to talk about whisperings and the wardrobe. She wanted to settle it and look at a lookbook. They scheduled a meeting. She had to feed her baby, couldn't do it again at several points throughout the day. Jamie asked if she wanted to meet that night, but she wanted to do it tonight, and they were going to meet at the makeup trailer. He spoke with all producers, and Sony rep. They're walking to base camp, walk upstairs, knock on the door. She says, come in. She's got her hair and makeup people and her nanny and assistant blanket over her or something. She's breastfeeding or pumping. She's done this in front of them many times. Jamie tried to excuse himself, but she said she didn't care. She told him to come in and look away. Room full of women. He stands 15 feet to the left, turned away. He asked to do it tomorrow. She said, let's do it tonight. Asked to do it off the clock, and he didn't want to lose money, didn't want to forfeit her time. He looked in the mirror and made eye contact, but he doesn't recall this. Afterwards, he went downstairs. Rest of the gang, they'll meet in the trailer, etc. House meeting, go through the lookbook. Never talked about hair and makeup situation, but when she had addressed Jamie, she said to him it upset her that he didn't look away. He apologized and said he didn't realize. When you ask my sister for a hug and then finish with man, people are so sensitive these days. That's not cool. He never did or said this. Met her sister on the set in front of 100 people outside at a funeral. Walked up to her this time with other people around. Introduced himself earlier. He didn't know if she hugged or shook. I just always ask to be mindful and respectful of people's space. This one, he said he could have done differently. On set, he was sitting on his phone. JB and Blake were talking about how to shoot the birth scene in the movie. JB and Jamie had home births, and his wife is an advocate for home births and comfortable with her birth and sharing the story. Doesn't see it as a sexual act. He wanted to do it as a home birth. BL wanted to see the home birth. He pulled up the video. She's eating food. He said Blake wanted to see the birth video. She asked if his wife was okay seeing this. He said yes. She said she wanted to see it, but she was eating and didn't want to be eating, and then she said she would watch it later. He goes away, doesn't think anything of it. She said she thought Jamie was showing her porn. He apologized for this. Justin said this was his fault and said he told Jamie BL wanted to see the video. BL said it sounds like abuse, cover up. He apologized. He explained it. She insisted on being allowed into editing room, so or she wouldn't promote the movie. There are all these misdemeanors. They come down, they have this thing, they go to her apartment, BL and Ryan, she's reading 50 things that aren't in the legal document, but her getting it off her chest, so when they go to shoot phase 2, they can express themselves. JB shall not linger on her lip during a kissing scene. Laundry list of things JB shall not talk about BL's dead father or have conversations with BL's dead father. JB's a spiritual person. He said he believes when people pass on, we remember their name. It brings their soul closer to God, and they pray for him. He said they prayed for her father last night. JB shall not talk about his religion to BL. JB should not comment on how BL smells. JB gets nervous and freezes up. He was trying to articulate the words. Ryan chastised him for being dramatic. It's not about you, it's about her. This goes on for an hour. Jamie asked if he could speak. Jamie said he was sorry. It was her experience, wanted to feel seen and valued. We're people who care about how we treat people. Ryan, I see you're protective of Blake. I can see you're protecting her. And while we might agree on every single thing, I'm sorry. And I should have been better myself. I wish I would have done the IVEO thing different. Moving forward, we will be more careful, more mindful about feeling comfortable in the pace, and we can get through this in a way we could get through this that's meaningful to all. Ryan chastised Jamie and Justin again. Justin, why can't you be more like your partner? Jamie feels like it didn't make Justin look his best. They've held this against him that he hasn't shown any contrition. He can barely move. The next morning, he had a sex scene with her. It takes him days to find his legs again, and he finishes the movie. She shoots in LA. Now they're in the edit. 10 weeks to do his movie. A week in, she says she wants to be involved in the edit. Justin is protected, and I think this protected, and develop his movie. They know this can't happen. She is so unique that they would not get anything done, and it would cost more money. They said no. She got really upset. They end up saying yes. She can come in for a little bit of time. Nina Shaw is JB's personal lawyer. Not so much a law thing as much of a PR thing. While he's almost done with his first cut, she then demands to have time. They give her 4 to 5 days, which now she wants 11 days. They say no. Pressure from her and Sony. They give her 11 days. Sony says she keeps waving that she didn't feel safe on set. JB's movie is tested and it tests really high. Sony's happy with testing, does second screening and tests better. Blake now says she wants a friends and family screening of what she's done. Now she insists that her version gets a screen test. They get pressure to do so. It didn't test as well as Justin's, but they heard from Sony again and doubling down, saying she won't promote the movie unless her version is the one they go with. She said Colleen was on her side and that Colleen wouldn't promote the movie. No other cast complaints other than sexy comment from Jenny. Jenny also complained about meeting Jamie. She had an allowance for an Airbnb, so they gave her an X amount. She rented an Airbnb on her own thing that was above what they gave her. She told Jamie in the office that she didn't like the place and said they wouldn't give them their deposit back. He said, let's get you a new place. You're a baby and a mother. We don't want you in the place and we'll bear the cost. They worked it out and talked to production team. 2 days later, he sees her, ask about Airbnb. She said, thank you. Fast forward to 2 weeks. They get the sexy complaint. She had a problem with him offering to pay for the place as if he was a savior and a pat on the back for taking care of women and mothers being valued. Oh my word. Jenny, y'all are looking to be offended. Y'all are looking to be offended. What in the... You were offended because you thought he was giving himself a pat in the back for taking care of women and making mothers being valued? What in the... I know that this is their version of the story, but you've never told your version of the story. Because I think you don't want to tell your version of the story because it'll make you look bad. Because what in the... Then why... give back the $15,000. Jenny stopped talking to Justin and Jamie. Her agent hasn't talked to them about it. Sony is worried. Justin is very fear-based that Blake is going to take her down. Jamie learned that she has the characteristics of a narcissist. Have another call, go through an exact timeline and make things super specific. Enough friendly reporters and people who would create a story that we wanted to create it. She took the movie over, Justin is bench, a sideline from his own movie. Sony and other consultants just said, let her have it at this point. Justin is sick because it's his name on it as a director. Sony agrees it didn't score as well, even her second test. Now she's willing to put the movie closer to what Justin's second test did, but they couldn't call it Justin's cut. They're not talking to Colleen anymore. She's under Blake's wing. She went out to dinner with the two of them, brought her fully up to speed. She left that dinner feeling like they tried to get her on their side and turn her against Blake. Author of book, Woman Beloved, they don't follow Justin on social media. Young actors no longer follow Justin. Blake has shared enough with them that they want nothing to do with Justin. Brandon, who plays Atlas, Book Bonanza happened, met with Alex. Alex has played both sides, but has despised BL's behavior. Now she's at Book Bonanza and goes to dinner with them. Brandon will not promote the movie alongside Justin. They wouldn't do any press with him. Alex, through their only newly appointed producer, would no longer engage with JB, Jamie, or Wayfarer. Alex has been someone to navigate as well. Female lead, female co-lead, female author, female producer, female young Lily, and young Atlas, older Atlas, only heard from Blake and one incident with Jenny about bad experiences. Brandon is stating that Justin was trying to belittle his experience. Brandon spoke to Forbes about how incredibly Justin was as a director. Need to look this up. Movie is done. Blake finishes the movie. Justin is in a bad place, can barely show his face. He feels robbed. He feels like his name and what he's worked for is in the balance. He's very sensitive. Character assassination from someone known for being such a lovely character. And enough podcasts redefine what it means to be a man. I threw this in their faces. You guys are the dangerous ones. Sony does not think that there's any veracity to this. They've experienced how high maintenance this is. They're good with the crew. Isn't worried about peripheral opinion. Sony doesn't care about preserving Jamie and Justin's name. They care about how well the film does. Sony doesn't think that they've done anything wrong, but their opinion is just acquiesce. How long do you act guilty until you become guilty? Movie is done. He can't watch his own movie. Sony was able to get the movie 90% back to Justin's cut. Justin has been removed from posters, film credits, etc. Blake wants to be a producer on the film, wants her credit from EP to producer. They gave her a credit. She doesn't have the PGA mark, makes a distinction between contractual ones and the ones that built the cake. Rigorous process to award a PGA mark. They get a call that says Blake has requested that these three people, Alex, Ange, and Todd Black, writes a letter advocating why she deserves a PGA. She's requesting and expecting Jamie and Justin to write a letter also requesting this. Everyone else wrote the letter, and the only two that said no were Jamie and Justin. Now they have fueled a fire. Any goodwill that was left with them was gone. They write a letter. Jamie sent Blake a text asking for a direct conversation to find a path through this and lead to a change of thought. She would not get on a call and said she only wanted to communicate via text for it to be in writing. They write a letter. Jamie wrote it on behalf of him and Justin. This was factual, not advocating. Wardrobe, editing, music. She was granted the PGA mark. Follow-up email sent to Jonesworks attorneys. Wrote letter under duress, extortion. This is extortion and only doing it to save face, investment, etc. And this dated at the same time in writing. They had to fire their composer because she didn't like the music to bring on Ryan's composer for Deadpool. Fired editors. Now the premiere is happening August 6th. Movie comes out on August 9th. They're going to go. Premiere, NYC, Lincoln Center. Chairman and financier. He's going to the premiere with family and friends. Justin is coming to the premiere to walk the carpet and celebrate movie and reclaim it. Most of Wayfarer is going to celebrate the movie and family and friends. Until Monday, Blake does not want Justin at the premiere, nor does she want Wayfarer at the premiere. Over the last 3 days, got wind that she doesn't want them there from Sony executives. $30 million they put in to Sony's $20 million. They've been waiting for the phone call that was a potential official ask or delivery of the news. They were preparing, talking to Danny Greenberg and Abel a lot. 5 p.m. Wednesday night with Sony. Says to them Blake doesn't want Justin or Wayfarer at the premiere. Josh and them are over Blake, but they need to stay in business with her and Ryan. They said Blake was more important to them essentially than them. She said that if they go to the premiere, if Justin goes to the premiere, and if you guys go, she will not come to the premiere, nor will Colleen or any of the other actors. Justin only found out all of this last night. He cannot take anymore. Justin isn't built for something like this. Option 1, Justin fakes COVID. He's in Sweden. He posts something about not being there and lies. Sony doesn't want that option. Option 2, JB comes to red carpet before the rest of the cast takes picture, then he leaves. They'll come an hour later, film community of all the people. He won't be in the theater when the movie is introduced and talked about, and he's not there. Option 3, business as usual. They're going to go. First time something feels like it belongs to her. She's not going to not show up to this. Justin loses his mind. He's overwhelmed. His wife is worried BL's going to take their lives apart. Justin is worried about being canceled. They decided to go with option 3 and call her bluff. They're not moving the fence anymore. Called Josh today and said they're going to go. Wayfair cannot accept this, so here's what we'll do. Come to the premiere. Justin, who's been through a lot over the last 5 years, he deserves to see this movie through. He'll walk the carpet. He'll go inside. We'll do a fake interview so he'd got something to talk about, or he had to get there early for some reason. No group photo. She wants to introduce the movie and welcome everyone. Tom Rothman or Josh or someone from Sony walks up to stage and welcomes people and intros movie. Blake and Colleen can then go up and have their bit. They're not going to after party. Night can belong to Blake. This is the only plan. Melissa Nathan needs to be very wary of her. Create scenario planning. If all goes to plan and everything runs smoothly, he should do an op-ed about why he chose to take this film on because of XYZ. Organize some proactive press, stepping up as men, GQ, EW, protection of a brand, protection of him. Push out positive headlines in a couple months, say something. Josh warned Jamie that Blake doesn't accept this plan. She might not come to the premiere. Rest of cast might not go to the premiere. There might not be a premiere. They're prepared for this. Sony expects Wayfair to back down. Wayfair is not going to back down. And from Sony texts Jamie and says she thinks they're making the wrong decision, but Jamie feels it's telling. And spoke with Danny, their agent. What if Justin shows up, goes into theater 2 with family and friends? She goes into theater 1 and intros movie. Justin intros movie to this theater. They go say hello to other theaters, stay in respective theaters. This still doesn't work, and they said no. They found out tonight. They spoke with BL Colleen. They said that they and them will not be coming to the premiere. Sony's disappointed. Jamie didn't back down this time. Invitations already went out. Figure out how to mitigate that and come up with something as to why it's not happening. They're doing a temperature check. He's going to call back. They're not going to let this not happen. This isn't the end of it. They're going to let us know what happens. His thought and what he told Josh. If this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, that they wanted to go to the premiere, that's going to be it. They're worried she's going to leak stuff, but if she's going to do it anyways, why not? She's going to hint towards it, not going to fire offensive bullets, but have to have a strategy. They're not going to just tank. They're going to figure out something. Trade, Sony not allowing XXX, weaponized feminism, next steps, scope, price, duration, next steps, and framework, holding statement, scenario planning, etc. Okay. So even though Katie Case had emailed this to herself on January 6, 2025 at 2:10 p.m., these were the notes that she wrote from a phone call with Jamie and Tara on July 25, 2024. Whew! They're definitely like not the cleanest of notes because, you know, when you're writing notes, you're haphazard. So we know that there's some things that's kind of like a little bit off in the notes itself, but there are some things that you're like, oh, dang it. So they really were like, okay, we're going to go to the premiere. If she wants to leak stuff, go ahead. Which is like actually quite wild if you think about it. Because they're like, fine, if you're going to retaliate against us because we wanted to show up on the thing that we worked on for 5 years, go do it. They called her bluff and she was upset. But in the end, he got to go. I mean, in the basement for a little bit, but he got to go.